0, and liftoff.
Hey everybody, welcome to this episode of Mission CTRL. This is your host, Ramon Peralta with Peralta Design, and we launch brands. And we've got an exciting healthy episode, health-related episode today. Please join me in welcoming Paige and Ted Parker, co-owners and co-presidents of Vibrant Health. All right, guys, so let's dive right in. The elephant in the room here, power couple. What's it like running a business together?
It's chaotic. It's stressful. I'm going to just be honest, right? Because I'm super authentic.
Yeah.
And you meet anybody that works with us or knows us, we don't hold back. It's challenging, but it's also at the same time really satisfying if those two words can coexist.
May I add rewarding?
It's satisfying, it's rewarding, and it makes you feel really proud because you're doing something that really lifts not only you as a human being, but your entire family and your entire community. So I recommend it for those who have a whole lot of ice water in their veins, that have that ability to handle stress, and they're resilient, and they love to take a challenge. They want to take on a challenge because it is a challenging thing to work with your spouse. Love aside, it's still your different personalities, and you've got to bring those personalities together, and you have to learn how to coexist and respect each other because you're different people at the end of the day.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, my wife is my best friend, but it doesn't.
I thought I was your best friend.
Well, yeah,
You're his new best friend.
My new best friend, yeah. Especially when we're playing golf.
What's going on?
Yeah, exactly. Ramon and I, are good friends on the golf course and off the golf course. But my wife and I have been together for, 25 years, married for 23 years. And it is challenging. And every time I tell friends of mine that my wife and I work together, they're like, oh my God, I don't know, how do you do that? Like, I can never work with my wife. And I'm like, you could. You might need some help, but you could do it. Yeah. And we have had help. We've been in marriage counseling for the 23 years we've been together. Well, 25 years together, 23 years married. Been in marriage counseling for 20 years, 2 decades.
Yeah.
So we have, we've been with the same counselor center for that time, and we've probably been through 3 different marriage counselors within that group. And the one that we're with now, Marcy, is, literally, she's like a friend of the family,
Did she have experience in, because you guys are a unique type of, this is a unique type marriage. Like I feel like the counselor needs to have experience with partners that are running a business or have a venture in some sort, because there's a teamwork aspect to it.
Yeah. I'm not certain, what her background is, other than being a therapist, specializing in marriage and like family health. But what's happened since we started, spending a lot of time with her, is she doubles as a marriage counselor and as a business consultant. So we see her an hour.
I was going to say, if she wasn't, she is now.
Yes.
After 20 years of being with you.
So we spend an hour with her, and I would say 30 minutes, maybe less, has to do with family and personal matters. And the latter part of our time together, we're bringing in our other family, work family, which encompasses Ted and I. Yeah. As owners, partners, and business people, and then those relationships that we have with our entire team, because Ted sees black, I see white. That's how it is when you're working with, I don't know if that's with all partnerships, but I feel that in many regards, partnerships bring 2 forces together that are different but complementary.
Right. That's a key word. I think for innovation, you don't want to think the same.
Absolutely not. And I have to agree. I think that it goes back maybe to, Paleolithic times where husbands and wives or partners differed in their opinions just out of safety. You know, just think about it, right? You know, like, should we go down this path? You know, if you go down this path, it could be lions and tigers and, then you can say, but there's also an opportunity down at the end of this path, and you have to figure it out together to survive and also to profit or to eat or, whatever it is that's at the end of that path.
That's a great analogy, because I think you bring different life experiences with you.
Absolutely.
I'm laughing at myself because you think of like the work wife or the work husband, but you guys are actually
both. Yeah. Yes, we are.
We are. And, but it's wonderful. I mean, being able to work with your best friend all the time and be there, when we're apart, I just came back from a golf trip with some buddies of mine, and, I miss my wife. I mean, I'm with her 24 hours a day, literally all the time. And when you're apart, it's almost like a part of you is gone. Your right arm is no longer there. So it's different, it's unique, it is challenging, all of those things. But I would have it no other way.
What about the PDAs in the office? Public display of affection?
No,
it's all business.
Yeah, for the most part.
Yeah,
because it affects morale, I imagine.
Oh yeah, I mean, like we have like heated discussions in front of the team,
AKA
and they're like this,
or
and they're like this. They're like literally like frozen, and they don't want to make a sound or a move because they don't know how it's gonna, tease out at the end.
They don't want to be collateral damage on the side.
And so that's some of the things we had to learn.
Yeah.
Like we don't have those discussions in front of our employees anymore. Yeah. That we decide, and this is what marriage counseling did for us. And I think this is one of the big benefits that we walk away with, is don't air your laundry in front of the team. As a partner and in a partnership, talk about it together first. Have a consensus, then bring it to your team, right? So you look like and act like a united front, and they're more apt to really buy into whatever it is that you're trying to, convey.
And we do that, but not always. I mean, I think that our employees also want to see us being real with one another. So it's kind of a balance. We don't want to just always be like agreeable and we've discussed this and everything is perfect and everything's kumbaya. That's not the case.
It doesn't seem real.
It's not real.
It's not authentic.
Yeah, so we try to balance it. We're not going to get in a war in front of, a battle in front of the team. But at the same time, I think it's okay to disagree. And sometimes we do. We'll just say, I disagree.
We'll
talk about it.
We encourage everyone to speak, because we don't profess to know everything.
Right.
We sort of hobble through a lot of it ourselves. So again, like having these open discussions, but when it's a really important matter that I feel that we should talk about first, we do that now more than we've ever done that before. And I think that that's healthy. Yeah,
it's good leadership too. Because I think your team's looking at you guys like, okay, is there the trouble on the horizon, or But if you guys present a unified front,
right?
At least there's that sense of like, okay, we're moving in the right direction.
And so it's funny because I'll say A, Ted will say Z.
Yeah.
Right. I'll say up, he'll say down, and it's like this again. Like,
who do we follow?
Who do we follow?
But as long as at the end of the day, they know that we're committed to the business and that we're committed to each other.
Is there one that's more like a silent partner in the office, or are you guys both equally?
God. I mean, no, I'm glad that's a really good question, because, when Paige is, on a call, many of the calls I'm not on because, Paige, has a very strong personality and no, you do. There's no secret there. There's no secret there. And if it's definitely within her wheelhouse and it's not my wheelhouse, like we just have their morning meetings, like Monday morning meetings, and we try to get through that meeting, get the week started, and she's just so expert at an organizational management and leading that call. I'm not on most of them, and if I'm there, I'm kind of in the background. And if they ask my opinion, I'll kind of, I'll chime in. But there are certain times you got to know where your space is and where it isn't, And I know sometimes I just kind of like let her run the show. And
I think that that's the point that we really need to underscore when you're like, you have a partner. you have to work to your strengths. You can't both be everything to everyone in the organization. I think that that's a waste of your purpose, of your capabilities. And I think in the beginning, especially for me, because Ted worked at Vibrant Health first and then I joined, and he had that expertise that I didn't have yet. And I kept trying to insert myself, but what I needed to earn that. I needed to build it, and I needed to, curate it, and it took time. And so we would be, in the beginning, we were like, oh boy, it was rough and I'll take complete responsibility. It was me trying to be that, to be there like I was always there. And it wasn't working. It was not working. And then we would go home and have these huge fights. So we'd fight in the car, to work, from work. Oh my God, it was crazy.
And then you're like, take a deep breath before we go inside.
Oh my God.
Got to reset and then walk in.
Yeah, I remember that day when we bought the company and I had the title of president. She had the title of vice. She was like, how come you get to be president? What is this? I mean, I was just
very competitive. I'm going to tell you right now. I'm not going to lie.
So who when you do good cop, bad cop, if somebody's, which one's which?
What do you think?
Bad?
Bad cop.
Bad cop. So if I had to, if I needed time off, or I don't know, I needed some kind of favor or whatever, I'm going to you first.
You're going to me.
It's going to be.
Yeah, I think I'm more compassionate, and I don't know if it's because I'm a woman.
Yeah.
And I intuitively know that things aren't, especially in this day and age, it's not the corporate that we all grew up in.
Right.
We have to be flexible. We have to be compassionate, right? People have families. They don't have nannies, so they have to take care of their own kids, things like that. Yeah. So, I'm definitely more the compassionate and understanding one.
Yeah, and I came up, I think we're a product of our environment, right? So the environment that I came up in corporate America was very, very kind of stiff and structured and 9 to 5. Forget 9 to 5, it was like 8 to
9 to 9.
9 to 9, I mean, exactly. We worked like dogs. And it just was the way, and now, especially post-COVID, it's not the way, I mean, clearly. So, as an organization that has grown out of kind of COVID, we are now a 3-day-a-week organization. We actually start next week coming back to the office 3 days a week. It's work from home summers. So actually, we spend less time in the office, as a percentage than we spend out in the office. So it's, I think we're 48% in the office.
And that's probably driven more by Paige, I would imagine.
Yeah, that was her idea to kind of, listen, we enjoy the time that we have to work outside of the office, especially during the summer months so we spend time with family. It's kind of a really good work-life balance, I think. This is going to be the first time we're going to do it, 3 days in the week, during the week in the office and summers from home. We'll see how it goes. All
right. Well, when we come back, we're going to learn all about how you guys even got into this business when we return. Why do we do Mission Control? It's not to create the world's greatest podcast, chase 1 million followers, or escape our day jobs. It's about something bigger. It's about a calling to tell meaningful stories, amplify voices that inspire, and shine a spotlight on those making a real difference in their communities and beyond. Mission Control is our platform to give back, to celebrate the motivators, the dreamers, and the doers. Whether you're a business owner, entrepreneur, educator, community leader, or someone with a vision for change, one thing is clear: you're making an impact. This is your space, your story. Together, we'll share knowledge, journeys, and hope. Welcome to Mission Control, Peralta Design's podcast, where the mission is clear and the impact is limitless.
3, 2, 1. Let's go. Launch Brands.
And we're back. Please help me welcome once again Paige and Ted Parker, co-owners, co-presidents of Vibrant Health. And let me introduce the man on the soundboard who's been the silent partner so far, our director of web development, Jorge Pezo Candelario.
How's it going, everyone?
Hey.
Jorge's the man. So, guys, we left off with a real juicy segment that I think our listeners are going to love. The challenges and some gems there too with regards to leadership and being this power couple that you guys are. But tell us the story behind Vibrant Health. Sounded like you worked there, you came on board, then you guys bought the business. Tell us a little bit about how that happened.
We actually have to go back a little further.
Yeah, we have to go back a little further.
Go back.
Yeah, so I think for a lot of people that pursue like healthy living, you're brought there by design, if you will, or necessity. And so I was dealing with a chronic illness called Candida. It's like chronic fatigue. It's a yeast overgrowth, and it just really affects your life in so many ways, right? And I've been dealing with it for a number of years, and I had seen every specialist known to man, and no one could. I kept getting, go see him, go see that person. And out of frustration, I went to see a naturopath. And the woman put me on 35 supplements. I'm going back 30 years.
Wow.
35 different supplements, and also a anti-candida, or what we want to call an elimination diet. So I couldn't eat anything. No dairy, no sugar, no wheat, no soy, no name it. Everything that's in our modern food system, I couldn't eat it. So the only place I could shop for food was in a health food store. And I was eating like
dust.
It's basically dust. Tasteless, odorless, colorless food.
Yeah.
But that's the way I had to survive. I had to kind of cleanse my body, get rid of the candida, and rebuild. And so I found myself in a health food store weekly. I was dropping $100, $200, $300. And I finally said to myself one day, coming from an entrepreneurial family, I got to open up my own health food store. I'm my best customer.
Yeah,
right?
I got to get this wholesale.
Exactly. So I was in the midst of opening up my store. I had saved up all this money. I was working for Citibank at the time, and I was working on a business plan. And that's when I met Ted. Met him at my aunt's restaurant. And that's another story.
Was
for
there a
another
sparkle
day.
in his eye? And
his eye sparkled.
Yeah.
Mine didn't. I was like, just wasn't my type.
Talk to the hand.
But we connected.
He shot his shot.
He shot his
shot. Yeah.
Yeah. So he started helping me finish my business plan. I went to the bank. I applied for $150,000. I got $75,000 from Chase, which is really unheard of.
Yeah.
And then we proceeded to open the store. Ted had been using a product called Green Vibrance with huge success because he was burning the midnight oil, so to speak. Had
I can
gastro.
I could tell that part.
All right, go ahead.
Yeah. So when Paige, before Paige and I met, when I was working, thank you, honey, that was very sweet. So when I was working at Xerox in corporate America, my diet was horrible. I just, I talk about my lunch. Well, let's start this way. Wake up in the morning, go to the deli right by the office. It was bacon, egg, and cheese, right? Or sausage, egg, and cheese. For lunch was a dirty water dog. I don't know if you know what dirty water dogs are. Okay, yeah. So I loved that hot sausage with the cooked onions, and that was my lunch. And then it was, going to the bar after work with friends and going having drinking, and then eating steak and egg, French fries or whatever. It was just meat. I didn't eat a lot of greens at the time, So after a few years of this, my health started to suffer. So I'd say probably after the third year working and eating like that and living like that, I ended up with lactose intolerance. I started getting sick, like seasonal. I would get like the seasonal cold. Like, you see the commercials, seasonal cold, take this. That was me. It was like every fall and every spring I got sick, And so my immune system was suffering. So I decided that, at one point when I got a respiratory infection that lasted about a month, I said, I'm not going to be this sick again. So I said, I'm done. So the first thing I did is I went to a natural market like Paige used to do. And I started reading all of the products on the shelf, and I found one product, and it spoke to me because it said that it supported nutrition, digestion, circulation, and immunity. Well, my nutrition.
Check.
I mean, I was eating hot dogs off a hot dog stand. My nutrition wasn't good, right? Digestion, lactose intolerance, immunity. I mean, I was getting sick all the time. Right. And circulation, I mean, I started feeling like heart palpitations on a regular basis. And I was too young for that.
Right.
I was like, all right, let me try this. So I took the product, and literally within a month, I felt like, even before that, within 2 weeks, lactose intolerance had gone away. I wasn't getting sick. Like a month had gone by, 2 months had gone by, a year had gone by, I hadn't gotten sick, 2 years had gone by, I hadn't gotten sick. And at that point, I became like this evangelist for this product. So people would, they would see me coming into the bar, they were like, and my friends would be together with some other guys. They're like, this guy's going to come talk to you about this product called Green Vibrance. I'm telling you right now, here he comes. He's going to talk to you. Yeah, run, hide. So I became like this and then when Paige opened her store, that's what I sold. I mean, basically people came in and they said, listen, I don't feel well. I don't have any energy. I said, you need Green Vibrance. Or, I'm not really sleeping well. You need Green Vibrance. Or I'm eating horrible. You need green. It's just like, it was kind of a catch-all because the product did so much. It was like at the time, maybe like a 35 ingredient formula. Now it's like a 70 ingredient formula. So it's evolved over time, but it's still, to me, the best green superfood available on the market. It's just incredible. And it changed my life. So that's what we used to sell in the store, and kind of how we got off.
Yeah, so Ted would sell that and some of the other products in the line. And we had the opportunity to go to the Natural Product Expo, which is a big trade show for our industry, and was being hosted in Baltimore. So we drove there, walking around, and we didn't have the monitors like Apple phones and the watches to track your steps. But you did about 20 to 30,000 steps a day. And so by day 3, homeboy drops down in the corner and says, babe, he said, I can't.
My dogs are barking.
Goes, literally said, my dogs are barking. I'm going to sit here and wait for you. You finish this last aisle. So I'm going down the aisle and we see Vibrant Health banner.
Oh, wow.
And we're like, oh, my God, we got to go meet these people. And there was no FaceTime back then, nothing.
Right.
So you're meeting these people for the first time, and we just...
And you'd been like an evangelist for the product.
We were the top retailer.
Wow.
My little 2,000 square foot store was the top store in the country of selling because of Ted.
Yeah.
This
That's
guy
insane.
right here.
Yeah, you believed in it.
Yeah, I mean, it's like when you have an experience like that, I mean, it really was. I mean, I call myself an evangelist for it, but it was a religious experience to all of a sudden, I'm not feeling well, I'm sick, I'm not doing well at all. And then all of a sudden, you're still doing the same things. I mean, it wasn't like I stopped eating dirty water dogs or bacon. I still ate a lot of those things. At the time, I smoked pot, I was smoking cigarettes. I had a really horrible, poor lifestyle. But I still did those things. Maybe not as frequently, but I still did it, and I felt better. And slowly but surely, I started to clean my act up.
And what was the regimen? Just making a smoothie in the morning, or?
Yeah, I was taking. It was like taking, and sometimes it'd be multiple times a day. So, but for the most part, it was in the morning. I would do like just that and orange juice, and then I started to lose my taste because my blood sugar. One thing I didn't know is that the formula has a good amount of chromium in there, so it was balancing my blood sugar. So after doing it for a couple of months, I was like, the orange juice tastes really sweet.
Yeah.
Like my palate changed, so I started doing half orange juice, half water, and then before I know, I was just mixing it in water. And I was like, man, I feel so good. Maybe I'll stop eating like this. Maybe I'll feel even better. And I stopped eating. Yeah. So it's amazing when you start down that path of like taking care of yourself. All of a sudden you start feeling better. You say, I want to feel even better.
Right.
Also, your cells start craving those nutrients that are lacking in the foods you were eating, right? So you now start to look at a salad as really appealing. Whereas before you were like, that's rabbit food. You know what I mean? So,
right. So it's like a molecular change.
Absolutely, because it works on a cellular level.
Yeah, wow.
So that day, we meet the owners, the then owners. We embrace, everything is kumbaya. And Ted didn't tell you this before, but he had been downsized from his job. So we went to this expo. He was jobless. And he and the owner just sort of hit it off then and there. And Ted said, listen, they wanted to know, why do you do so well with our products? And I'm like, this dude. And he shared what he says and how he sells it. And long story short, he asked the then owner, to come and see him. So he drove up. We drove home from Baltimore on the Sunday, and on Tuesday morning he went for an interview. The interview lasted almost 7 hours.
Wow.
Yes, they went to breakfast. They came back. They went to lunch. They came back. They went to the bank. The wife came in and said, "What are you guys talking about?" But they were talking about everything.
Yeah. And the passion that you have for this product, blowing this guy away. I mean, he's like, this guy really believes in it.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it was just clear as day to me.
Yeah.
And so, I mean,
Was there any golf involved?
No, unfortunately, he didn't golf. But, but we did share a passion for what we believed nutrition could be. And that's what the products he was creating. I mean, it was just like that groundbreaking. And he did it transparently, too. I mean, all of the products had a full disclosure label. You can read every ingredient. There were no proprietary blends. So.
And did he have a similar origin story? Was he... that made him go into trying to discover this, create this product?
No, he is a graduate from the Human Nutrition Program at the University of Bridgeport.
Oh, wow.
And had been in
Purple Knight.
Yeah, had been in that industry as well, working for other companies, formulating for them, and decided that he wanted to bring a formula to the market that didn't exist.
And that no one would bring to market because it was too expensive.
Too expensive. So he decided, I'm doing it myself. So he borrowed some money from his brother and created the first 1,500 bottles and literally went store to store. And that's
yeah. And at the time, it was the first green superfood on the market.
Yeah.
So, and there were quite a few other products in the line. And so I went up and met with them, had that interview, and I got hired as the director of sales probably 2 months later. And,
it's more like 2 weeks later.
Oh, 2 weeks. Well, she's got a better memory than this. My memory is failing. It was pretty quick. And then, I hit the road, and I was on the road every day. I mean, it seemed like forever for the first.
I think you traveled like 1 week a month.
Yeah, but that first trip, I went from Maine to Miami. I just got to rent a car, and I just traveled. Wow. The whole East Coast, met with all the sales reps that we had, and I went out to the West Coast, and then I started that was kind of the eggshell of the first step.
He left me pregnant. First baby.
You told me.
Tummy out to here.
She said go.
Left me for like a month.
I have no experience in marriage counseling, by the way. So,
I couldn't believe it.
My reaction is going to be like, okay. He's hustling. I don't know.
Yeah.
He's trying to feed the family, right?
Exactly.
And that's exactly what happened.
Yeah.
He brought process, structure, like that corporate mentality to a business that didn't have it at the time.
Yeah.
And it literally took the business from 0 to 60 like that.
Wow.
And he had been doing so well with the company and had a conversation with the owner at the time and said, hey, you're doing so great. Maybe one day you and Paige would want to buy the company. He came home and he said, I think
we have an opportunity.
So he dropped it. The owner dropped that gem.
And he came and said that to me. And I said, giddy up. Let's go.
Let's do it.
And literally we begged. We went to the bank to apply for a $2 million SBA loan. And they gave us a list of 185 conditions that needed to be met. Like when you buy a house, you have like 20 conditions. We had 185, and Ted went through them painstakingly, one by one by one, till we got it done. We had another baby, Preston, and it took 2 years for the whole deal to come together and close. And we closed on April. Never forget this. It was April 7th, 2007.
That's amazing. Some prayer and
Listen, my mother,
just kind of alignment. This was just
it was the hardest thing we ever did. We should have given up 10. We should have given up 100 times.
Wow.
My mother even said to me, "You sure you want to do this? It doesn't look like it's working out." And I think that was the sort of reverse psychology that I needed that really spurred me on, because
we're doing this.
We weren't giving up. Yeah. We were not anybody, and I don't want to speak ill of people, but the average person.
Yeah.
And sadly, I think that's why there aren't more entrepreneurs.
Right.
Because it is difficult to start a business. I mean, we didn't start this business. We bought it, but the way that we look at it, we've been growing it and developing it and, just giving it that steam that it needs to keep.
Right. You can't do
going
ordinary things and expect extraordinary results.
Yeah.
You got to take these leaps.
Yeah.
So let's jump to this amazing company you've built. What prompted this rebrand that you guys are about to launch?
Have you seen our labels?
Antiquated.
Yeah, they're antiquated.
I think this is an opportunity to make it really your own too, right? I mean, because you inherited that brand.
Yes,
absolutely. Good point.
Yeah, and we've made tweaks over the last 17 years from what it looked like when we first bought the company to what it looks like now, but it still hasn't really evolved. And for me, I thought, we'd been hearing from people that said, "Oh, your label looks retro. How old is this company?" And we would hear that a lot. And then just in looking at the brands that are on the marketplace right now, it's really driven by consumers. Yes. They want things to look good. They're attracted to the way a label looks.
They want to wear the merch.
And we just felt that we had been stuck in the past for long enough, and it's time to bring the product to the current, right? And to really evolve, as our products have evolved over the course of the last, 34 years.
Yeah. What advice would you give someone out there, for example, they have an existing brand? What were some of the signs? You kind of gave some of those, but maybe some of the challenges that you've encountered during this rebrand process.
Well, it probably started with me. I mean, I was, I remember walking into the first, and again, I wasn't leading on this rebrand, right? So Paige had her meeting. They were in there talking to branding agencies, and I was hearing quotes of like, $300,000 a quarter. I was like, I turned around and walked out. I was like, we're not spending that we don't have that kind of money to spend on a rebrand. And then what's the matter with the labels? Look at Dr. Bonner's soap. I don't know if you know Dr. Bonner's soap, but it's a soap that we use, and they've never changed their label. And then, and look at Coke, and look at, there's some brands that just have, survived with the current brand and became part of their identity. And I think I was also afraid, I was afraid that, people aren't going to recognize who we are. And that's still a big problem in the industry. I've seen a lot of rebrands go horribly wrong.
Yes.
Right. So
some famous ones like Tropicana is one that comes to mind.
Yeah, it's horribly wrong. So, there are a lot of things that I think we are doing right, and we took our time with it, and that's the most important thing, taking your time and making sure you get it right. So we've actually gone through 3 different agencies, look at the design, and I think we finally got it right. We'll see. Because it doesn't launch until April.
Focus groups and
yeah, but what's interesting about focus groups? It's 50-50, man. Yeah. if you give them 3 options, it's a third. It's like, come on, really? So I take the that with a grain of salt. You really have to kind of know who you are as a brand and what you want to represent, and kind of go with that. Definitely, there were some folks that we knew in design that we showed it to, and they were like, "I don't like it," on some of the iterations we had before, and we really respect them highly. So,
good stuff. Now let's maybe highlight some of the products that you guys offer. Some of the more popular ones that we've been talking about, Vibrant Health, but you guys have, like little supplement packs and things.
Our hero product, the product that started the green superfood category, is Green Vibrance. It's the OG, right? It's been around since 1992. That's 30 whatever years. What product has that actually lasted that long?
Right.
The reason it's been around is because of the quality of the ingredients, the care that we take in creating the formulas. They're all science-backed. But I think the most important thing that the consumer values is that every product that Vibrant Health has a full disclosure label. We don't hide behind proprietary blends. You know what that is? The big paragraph that has all the ingredients listed and then a number at the bottom. That doesn't tell you anything.
Right.
What it does, what it affords the brand is the ability to swap ingredients out if they need to, because of cost.
That's a great point.
Or availability, and you as the consumer, you don't know.
They don't have to tell you because it's our secret. It's like a KFC secret recipe.
And what's interesting about that, like most people think when they hear the words proprietary blend, oh, this is a special product. It's proprietary. No, it's not. Yeah, but you know,
it just means they're keeping it secret from you.
Exactly. They're keeping it secret. But you have a right as a consumer. You have a right to know what you're taking.
What are you putting into your body?
Absolutely, by dose. You know, not just a listing of in paragraph form, but you should know exactly what that ingredient is and how much of it is in there. Especially when it comes to nutritional supplements, right? I mean, these things are they can be so comprehensive.
Anything you're ingesting, right? And then anything you're putting on your skin,
right?
It's all going into your body, right? So I think that, you know, consumers really value that in the entire brand, is that everything has got a full disclosure label. And there are a lot of lookalike products. I've never seen so many green foods that purport that they're the best, they do this and they do that, and they're all good to a certain degree.
But you guys have the most awards.
We have the most. It's the most award-winning. When you read any of the reviews, consumers tell you, I started using it, I feel different. I feel transformed. I feel healthier. I feel better. So the proof's in the powder.
Right.
Yeah, the proof's in the powder. I like that.
And proof's in the powder. Where can people find it? What stores are carrying it in countries?
So you can find Vibrant Health products in Whole Foods. You can find it in vitamin shops. There's a chain called Sprouts Farmers Market. You can find it there. Wegmans,
your local mom and pops, stores.
Absolutely. Kroger's is another big chain. They have a subdivision called Harris Teeter's. You can find us in there. We're in about 6,500 stores domestically, 8,000 internationally combined. You can find our products in the UAE, in South Africa, and South America, Guatemala. Turkey, Iceland,
the UK.
Yeah, so it's kind of all over the place, and really, countries that welcome nutritional supplements, and there are countries that really kind of stand behind it. Those are the ones you'll find our products in. Yeah.
Excellent. And online, where could people find out more, or maybe share some of your socials?
At vibranthealth.com or at Vibrant Health. We have Instagram right now. When you look us up, we're in a black box, but that's soon to change. Our rebrand hits the marketplace April of 2026.
Awesome. So
follow us so that we can keep you, updated on all the different changes that are happening. And we'd love for folks to be on the journey with us. It's a long time coming. It's been 34 years. And so we're really excited about the rebrand and, just having more eyes on the product and having more folks learn about Vibrant Health.
Yeah, and Vibrant Health isn't just, last note, isn't just about green superfoods or general health and wellness. We also have condition-specific formulas for joint health and for urinary tract health and digestive health. I mean, it kind of runs the gamut, but all under the kind of transparency umbrella of full disclosure labeling.
Awesome. Guys, thank you so much for making the time to be on our show, sharing so many gems about being a true power couple, leadership, creating a healthier population and making people feel better. Awesome. Thanks for being here. All right, everybody. Thank you for listening to this episode of Mission Control. Until next time, this is your host, Ramon Peralta with Peralta Design, and we launch brands.